Aloha, beautiful. Great to have you back. Don't miss out on any episode. Follow me on Facebook where you will receive additional information. Just look for Tita May. And for now, I wish you lots of new inspirations. Aloha, beautiful souls, and welcome to a new episode of I Am Aloha. What an interesting week. We just had 2 portal days and we're straight running to the new moon. Today's topic is a little bit, I wouldn't say heavy, but no, it's not heavy. I guess I'm not going to describe it. I'm just going to start. I wanted to talk to you about having trouble on following your heart's truth or your path, your passion, your calling. Just because I just found myself in a point, and I'm taking this because it just recently happened to me. As you know, I am on the merge of really letting go 20 years of living in Germany, having a stable job and everything. And I'm going to let it go because I feel that my heart, my soul, my complete being wants to move on, wants to go live near an ocean. And I guess that's probably part of my, I dare to say Hawaiian soul, or part of my Hawaiian soul that's calling to the ocean. And I'm trying, for me, that would be like really truly living my calling, is by really letting go a lot of things. I know I'm going to be changing into, I'm just transitioning into a way of minimalism, having less things, like really feel weightless because there's less things there, because I'm only going to live out of one luggage and I don't want to have more. So, and so that's going, for me, that's going to be like going into this nomad life. It's going to be for me living my true calling, doing what I do best, is talking about my experiences, passing on my inspirations, things that changed in my life to you guys. And so for me, that will start on October 1st, because that's when I will finish the job that because I'm part-time jobbing. How do you say that? Well, yeah, I have a part-time job next to my online things that I do with you guys, with the podcast, with the YouTube channel and everything. So that job is okay, but it's not my calling. For me, I'm doing that right now. I was doing it and I'm still doing it so that it gives me some sort of security. Another thing that I will let go. I mean, I've already resigned for that date, and that's going to be interesting for me to let go of those things. So for me, one thing is that starting from that point, I'm going to be living my calling. But before that, I still have to do other stuff. But the thing is that it's not just that. I'm also doing a couple of other things. Like I told you, the project with the online conference I'm organizing, and a couple of things on my German side. So that's taking up a lot of time, but I'm not 100% in that whole section because I'm still doing a couple. I keep having other stuff like my taxes, like my I don't know. I keep having. I'm being maid of honor, so I'm to a wedding this year. So I have to organize all those things, and so I keep doing other stuff. And I ask myself, why am I not doing what my calling is? Why am I not recording more podcasts or doing more interviews for this conference that I'm going to have? And I keep finding excuses why not. And I wanted to show you this because I realized that it's not that I keep finding excuses. It's just that I'm afraid to fail, because I'm afraid of failing on one hand, not to be able to do that on time, and afraid of failing because of the topic. And that actually is a bigger fear that also runs into this whole podcast and YouTube and everything, because for me, this is my calling. I feel like this is what I have to do. I have to share this with you guys because I know that you can use this to make the changes in your lives like I did. And with all the techniques that I have learned and will learn in the future, because I keep going to trainings and courses and stuff. So you see, this is one thing. So the funny thing is that I realized I keep finding excuses not to do what I'm meant to do. But in the end, it's just because of this fear. And I wanted to share this with you guys because I believe that we can still do this. So this is when I sit down and start recording a podcast, because this is what helps me. This is what I know is my calling, to be here, to give you inspiration and to tell you about those things. And by doing that, I am right now, doing what my heart wants to do, like what my soul wants to do. Even though I have this fear that it might not be accepted by everyone out there. And it's also because I know that that's another thing, and that's a fear that's combined within it, is because I don't want to be put in a box, because I don't see myself just as a shaman, or just as a person that does Reiki, or just as an energy worker. I see myself as a spiritual being that has certain kinds of techniques. And it's hard for me to just give it one name. I have to name things because we live in a society where we need to define things by names. So I need to define it by names. But I feel sometimes that it's not that I feel it, because I know that now is the time to take away all these things and all these names and all these definitions that we use, because we're already over it. We know we're going into the next levels. All those differences that we have, because this one likes this religion and the other one likes the other religion, or this person has these beliefs and the other person has these other beliefs. In the end, it's all the same. It's just different names for it. Like some people don't like the shaman having, like a powwow in front of you. They prefer to have the whole thing explained by NLP or whatever. But in the end, you win the same thing and you gain the same thing. So I know this with my soul and my heart, that it all happens. But I would even say ego, because we had it last week's episode, but this little hurt person inside of me that is afraid of not being light, because that was my huge fear back then, is now afraid that by not going into a definition, I'm not going to be accepted. So that's the interesting part, that I have this fear of not being accepted with what I do from my heart, from my soul. And so I keep finding excuses not to do what I want to do. And it was interesting for me because I realized it, I looked at it, and I started working with it. And for me, the important part was that I was able to, even though I was feeling this fear, to still keep on walking. Still keep on doing what my soul wants to do. Still keep on doing what my heart tells me to do. What my gut tells me to do. What my whole being tells me to do. To still keep on going even though the fear is there. And this was important for me to share with you guys, because I want you to look at your own things. If you're afraid of something, are you using excuses not to do things? And if you are, try to find the fear behind it. Because for me, in my definition, even pain or sadness, those two emotions usually have a fear behind it. So look at the fear that lives behind it. Look at it. Make it, how do you say, just put it out on a plate for yourself. Look at it and make yourself aware of it, that you have it, and then keep on walking and then keep on doing your things and say, thank you, fear, for showing yourself so that we can together transform you. But I'm not going to have you stop me. Now, this is not so easy. I'm not going to say it's easy. For me, I think in my whole path, the longest and biggest fear I had took me about 3 years to conquer. And I still feel like there are itsy bitsy tiny things still left of that fear, but they're so little that they don't stop me anymore. Before, they did stop me. So I can only recommend to learn about your fears and learn to let them go, to overcome them, and to not have them stop you so that you can keep on going. I'm not going to say, I think there are many ways to do it faster than I did, but I'm just saying that once you do that, once you have, at least in my case, once I had the biggest fear gone, for me it was like, oh, okay, now I know whatever fear comes up, I don't care, because I know I'll get over it and I'll be able to live my life and I'll be able to do the things that I want to do, and I'm going to be able to do them and nothing can stop me. So you can just keep on going and you can keep on walking, and you're going to get lighter and lighter with every fear you overcome. You're going to get more confident, more strength. You're going to be happy with yourself and with your life while you do that. So look out for yourself. Look at your fears. Look at the excuses you're using. Look at them. And it's okay not to, like, okay, now I'm going to do this fear and I'm going to be the Hulk and I'm going to change it in one day. It's not going to happen. Allow yourself to take the time for that, but work on it. Allow yourself to look at it a couple of days and find your own technique to overcome the fear. And I'm saying that because it can be shamanism, it can be energy work, it can be... I love using lomi lomis for letting go of things, but sometimes some things need something else, a guided meditation, or, so there's so many ways, there's so big of a space in this world and so many techniques that we can use. You just have to find your own one. And I'm just saying that because I couldn't tell you which techniques I used for my fears, or I still use for my fears, because it's different for each fear. It's a whole process by itself. And sometimes I use shamanism, sometimes I use Hawaiian style things, and there's so many different ways. And I keep on learning, and I hope to learn more and do more things to transform those things. But you know what I mean? So the thing is, I couldn't even give you a straight line for it, because there is no straight line for each fear you're going to have. You're going to have to find your own way. But if you want to, if you put your mind to it that you want to overcome a fear, you will find it. And you will find your techniques and whatever you need to change them. And I believe if you find out that a fear is holding you back, that's already 50% of the whole deal, because you already did the biggest part, because you for yourself found out it's this and that, so you can actually grab it and you can work with it, and you can be mindful with yourself, and be aware of yourself whenever you do something because of that fear, and then you can learn to reprogram yourself. You can do that with NLP. You can do that with meditations. There's so many. It's not that I want to hold back on the techniques for you, because that would be like a whole different course, and would take a lot longer. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, which is so important, is to find out what's blocking you, what's keeping you from doing something and look at it, embrace it, that you have it. It's great to have fears. I love having fears because thankfully, once I find them, I'm allowed to transform them and let them go. And with every fear I let go, I am thankful for every fear I can let go because it makes me lighter. I become this lighter being and I feel happier and freer. I think it would say it feels like freedom as well to let go of these things. And so I'm thankful that I just had this week of going slow and going a little bit like that, because it was that fear of not being enough, and it was nice to realize it and then to say, okay, I'm still gonna do it and I'm still gonna show you that I can. And it's just wonderful, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I think there's a lot of people out there that can actually do way more than what you're already doing. But you still have these old programs inside of you. But once you do, you will see that it gives you this different kind of freedom. Yeah, I'm very passionate about that. Yeah, but that's a whole other topic. Thanks again for tuning in today's episode. I hope you were able to get some nice insights and inspirations of this, and I hope you can really put your mind into looking at your fears. And yeah, I hope you have a great weekend and a blessed next week, a good time with the new moon coming up. Now it's the time to let go, so move into that. Sending you a big hug and a big holla. Bye, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in again. I hope you were able to get some good takeaways for yourself. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and leave a review. And if you'd like to receive some more inspirational information, sign up to Tita May's weekly inspirations. You can find the link on my website, titamayola.com. I'm looking forward to inspire you some more. And until then, aloha mahalo, e ho'omaikai kako, e ahui ho.